Well, it was a mixed and rather lackluster session on Wall Street. The Dow and S&P lower, in fact, ending an 8-week winning streak, while the Nasdaq just barely edged into the plus column at the closing bell. Now, there's no doubt the market's still trying to come to grips with these competing GOP tax plans, which have to be debated, compromises have to be made, and of course, it all has to be done and ready for President Trump to sign by the end of the year. Meanwhile, rotation I've been talking about all week continues into these beaten down stocks, perhaps looking for value, also limited risk. An example of that would be Mattel. It's up like $5 in the last 24 hours. Consumer staples, though, today, big winners. For the day, for the year, gargantuan losers. But Campbell's, Kellogg, General Mills, finding buyers recently. The big question, though, is when it comes to President Trump and his trip abroad on trade. Can we change what's happening in trade? President Trump in Vietnam today, it's his fourth country on this whirlwind agent tour. Of course, they want to promote trade and global safety. And while there's unanimous agreement on the latter, particularly when it comes to the menacing threat of North Korea, talking tough on trade is going to have to be followed by some seriously tough negotiations that somehow tilt the balance back toward America. The four nations President Trump has visited enjoy a collective $475 billion trade deficit with us last year. And that helped millions of their citizens climb into the global middle class, driven in large part by China after it was admitted into the World Trade Organization in 2001. In fact, today, China flexing its new middle class muscle as e-commerce giant Alibaba kicked off its annual Singles Day holiday, and it's become a spending extravaganza. Management, by the way, conceived of this holiday in 2013, and today they were looking to crush their record of $18 billion in sales last year, and they got off to a pretty roaring start. $5 billion in sales in the first 15 minutes, $8.4 billion in the first hour. By the way, shares of Alibaba, you can see, up $1.28 today, $186 a share, up 112% this year. By the way, Singles Day features 60,000 global brands, including 7,000 American products, which illustrates the dilemma now if we're going to try to fix trade. You know, it's estimated rather that the global middle class will outgrow North America exponentially. In fact, Asia Pacific is expected to grow by 150%, their middle class, between 2015 and 2030, while North America, we're going to grow by less than 6%. So that question we must ask, is it too late to turn the tables on decades of bad trade deals? Let's ask Peter Morici, University of Maryland economist and former U.S. International Trade Commission's chief. Peter, you look at Singles Day today, you look at the economic muscle around the world, particularly the burgeoning middle class there, and you wonder what leverage does America have if we try to change these trade deals dramatically?
Well, I don't think we can change all the trade deals, and that's Mr. Trump's mistake. He's picked a fight with South Korea. He's picked a fight with Canada and Mexico. And today he was really picking a fight with APEC less China. When he was in China, he was apologizing for their trade surplus, when that's where the problem is. It's hard for him to get the allies that he needs to fix the system, to put pressure on China, because that's where the problem is if he's going to pick a fight with everybody. It's the old story, Charles. You can't pick a fight with every kid in the playground. They'll just jump on you.
But you do pick a fight with the bully, don't you? I mean, when you say that.
That's right.
You say he was apologizing. I didn't see where he was apologizing to China. I did see where he said, listen, they did what he would have done. They took advantage of feckless administrations, and they made a lot of money from Americans.
But the point is that China's bound by rules, or supposed to be bound by rules like the rest of us, and it's been violating them all over the place and creating problems not just for the Americans, but the Europeans as well. But the point is, our European allies, our Mexican and Canadian allies, together, we can deal with China, but they want to do it diplomatically. Unfortunately, Mr. Trump just bowls around, tweets in the middle of the night, and picks a fight with everybody and says, I'm unhappy, and we're going to have a system of bilateral deals. You know what 180 squared is in terms of bilateral deals? It's absurd. A good example is Japan was willing to make major concessions as part of the Trans-Pacific Partnership on agriculture, right, because of some of the gains it was going to pick up in South Asia. On a one-on-one basis, that's not possible.
Well, I got to tell you, the American public wasn't in favor of these trade deals. Neither was Hillary Clinton. Didn't run on them either. So we'll see what happens. We do know that something went wrong over the last 20, 30 years, and there has to be a different approach. Peter, thank you very much. Appreciate it.